Shalom, 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 and greetings, and welcome back to another episode here on Israelite Talk TV, one of the number one platforms where what? That's right, where you don't get no paid media. Now, family, y'all see the thumbnail, y'all see the title. That's right. Today we got to talk about Young Thug and how he on his way back to prison. Okay, he on his way back to jail, right? We got to talk about how these people lined him up. It's a sad thing, right? And the thing that I want you guys to understand is that when you guys watch a lot of these YouTube channels out here, you know, especially a lot of these big channels, you can tell that a lot of these channels, these bloggers are not really in tune with the judicial system and what it is that they just did to Young Thug, right? And I'm going to break down his sentence because he has more than just 15 years on paper. There's a whole lot of stuff that's tied to this plea that he just took. And if he don't make it, he's going to do 40 years, right? This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So let me just make sure we live on all the platforms real quick, and we're going to take off. Make sure when y'all come into the building, y'all checking into the chat, so the chat some love, right? Y'all know how we do it, okay? Let me know where y'all checking in from, right? Make sure y'all share this thing, right? You know, I ain't been going live, but we finna turn it back up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm in the building tonight, Saturday night. Hope everybody that celebrated their Shabbat had a good day. You know what I'm saying, today. And we getting ready to turn this thing back up, right? Let's see here. Okay. Good there. Boom. Boom. All right. So let's go ahead and get right into this thing, right? Okay. Let's go and get right into it. Now, and to all of the disclaimers and all of that stuff is down in the description box. You already know how we rocking over here. Now, real quick, right? I do want to say welcome home to Young Thug, right? Welcome home to Young Thug, right? Let me say this, right? We've watched this trial for over the 3 years or however long that it's been going on, right? It's been going on a few years, right? I think it's just it's a bad look, man, when because I don't have a problem with civilians, you know, pointing out crime and doing, you know, things of that nature, because you got to remember that civilians are actually following the law. You know, these are people that get up every day, try to make a, you know what I'm saying, righteous living and do what they doing. You know what I'm saying? They see crime, they report it. There's no issue with that. I have a problem though with these guys out here that's entering into packs, right? I'm this gang, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm real, I'm this and that. And then they going out here and they're committing these crimes, right? And then when they get caught, you know what I'm saying, they forget about all of this shit. Oh, I got kids out there, my girl out there. Well, what about my family? Y'all ain't think about this shit before y'all went out here and start doing all this dirt. You know what I'm saying? And then when they get caught, you know what I'm saying, they involve other people and mess other people's lives up because they're trying to get out of jail. Family, what you guys got to understand, right? It's been going on way before Takashi 6ix9ine, but y'all got to remember that they have the industry, the government, because we know who's behind this, have glorified snitching. Okay. And I want you guys to understand this, right? This is what these people are doing, right? These guys, okay, these guys that are catching these cases and stuff out here, when they go to jail, and they know that they can tell on this person and that person to get out of jail. What you guys got to remember is that the government, the state, and all of these people know and understand that these people that have committed these crimes and stuff, they ain't being rehabilitated. They've caught a case and told on somebody and got out. So they know that these people are going to get back out and 9 times out of 10 commit other crimes and do other stuff, because they know that all they have to do is tell to get out. You know what I'm saying? And after so long, that shit runs out, and then they have to eventually go sit down because they have run out of information and people to tell on, because once most of these people know that they rats, they're not going to deal with them. So they're going to run out of shit to be telling on, and they're going to eventually have to go and sit down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't respect that. If a person goes out and they commit crime, you should not be able to tell on other people to get out of those crimes. because you're still guilty of committing those crimes. You know what I'm saying? So they have made this thing a thing of the day where it's, hey, go ahead and tell on people and nobody's going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? We saw all these guys in this YSL case do all of this telling and nobody did nothing. And now all of these people, when Young Thug get out, oh, welcome home, bro. But where the fuck was they at? So y'all got to understand that this street shit is over with, man. These guys are capped, you know what I'm saying? And this shit with Young Thug is sad, man. All the man had to do is just sit another 90 days, man. Another 90 days. You already been sitting for over a few years. What the hell is another 90 days? This goes to show you, as I told y'all, these multi-millionaires cannot stand up under that pressure. They're in a hurry to get back to those mansions. You know what I'm saying? Those women, them cars, and all of that shit. And Young Thug just fucked up, in my opinion. You know, and I do wish the best for him. I do. And I do feel for him because he shouldn't have been in the first place, but he should have never took that fucking plea. Never. Okay. Now listen to this, right? Okay. Finna get right to it, right? Let's get in here. Boom. Now, family. Okay. We ain't fucking around tonight, man. Excuse my high class English, but we ain't playing tonight, okay? Now listen, family. I want you guys to listen to what Brian Steele had to say after the trial, okay? Well, after he took the plea, because the trial is still going, right? Listen to what he said on here.
All right, if y'all don't mind talking us through the decision to make a plea and just how today ended up going and transpiring.
Well, this was excruciating because hopefully, in our collective opinion, Jeffrey would have been found not guilty of everything. So this is very painful. But that's another 3 months or so in custody. And he wants to go home to his family.
Family. Did you hear what that man just said? Did you hear what he just said? Brian Steele said it is excruciating. He said that man was going home at 90 days, and Thug, you couldn't sit your fucking ass down for another 90 days? Thug, come on, man. See, this is the part of the game that is not taught to our youth and all the people that's throwing up gang, and all of this shit. Sometimes you got to play defense. Sometimes you got to play defense. And if you're going to go out here and talk this gang shit and all that, you got to be ready to play defense. All Thug had to do is sit another 90 days and he was coming home. Listen to what Brian's still saying. It's excruciating. He wanted to say Young Thug is stupid as hell. Family, let me bag this shit up, see? See, they not going to give it to you like I'm going to give it to you, man. Listen to what this boy Brian had to say.
Jeffrey would have been found.
Listen what he said, man.
And just how today ended up going and transpiring.
Well, this was excruciating because
it was excruciating.
Hopefully, in our collective opinion, Jeffrey would have been found not guilty of everything. So this is very painful. But that's another 3 months or so in custody. And he wants to go home to his family.
You hear that shit? That would have been another 90 days, but he wants to go home to his family, right? You hear what the lawyer is saying. His dad said the same shit. These guys are not built for this shit, man. They're not built for this shit. And I'm going to show you how Young Thug career is over with, man. This shit is over with. When I get done with this live, I'm finna show you the shit is over with. It's over with. He might as well pack this shit up and go to church and just start singing gospel music. It's over with. The lawyer is telling you another 90 days he would have been out. But he couldn't sit another 90 days. He wants to go home to his family and gave up all this shit, ran all these red lights. Instead of just sitting, you already been sitting a few years. What's another 90 days to come out that shit not guilty? And we gonna get to the plea, the shit that this nigga, listen, the shit that this nigga agreed to. Even Gunna didn't even agree to that type of shit, man. Come on, man. Family, the shit that he agreed to, Gunna didn't even agree to. I bet you Gunna's still down there in Atlanta sticking and moving. And we know Gunna down in Atlanta because we saw the video with the Maybach down there in Atlanta. Come on, Thug, man. Come on, Thug. This shit is wild, man. This shit is wild.
And negotiations totally broke down with the district attorney's office. Horribly broke down. And at that point, we believed that justice would be found with the honorable court. And Jeffrey just wanted to go home. How agonizing it is.
Family, did you hear this shit? He talking lingo. He said the man would have went home. Listen, fam, did you hear what he said? This is the lawyer talking, man. He wanted to say, like, nigga, you stupid as hell.
To his family. And negotiations totally broke down with the district attorney's office. Horribly broke down. And at that point, we believed that justice would be found with the honorable court. And Jeffrey just wanted to go home. See, the thing about this court stuff, what you guys got to understand is that even in court, sometimes the judge may make a ruling. There's other courts that's above that court. So even if they would have said something and it still violated the law, they still had other courts that they could have went to that would have threw that shit out. Why do you think when Judge Coffey took his phone privileges? Okay, he took the phone privileges, they went to a court above and said, well, no, you can't do that. You need to, you know what I'm saying, come off of that case. There's other courts that's above that court. And this nigga wanted to come home after been sitting in jail for 90 days. And family, you know why I believe what Brian Steele is saying? This is why I believe what Brian Steele is saying. Young Thug sat in jail for over 3 years, right? The prosecutors never brought him a plea to my knowledge. They never brought him a plea to my knowledge. Okay? Never brought him a plea to my knowledge. Now, when the lawyer said that all that shit was breaking down and he was going to be found not guilty, now they come with the plea. And this nigga just wanted to go home. He been wanting to go home from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that he shouldn't want to come home. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to come home, but this is part of the game. You see what I'm saying? He could have got up out of that with all his rights and all that shit restored. Because what you guys got to understand, family, somebody got to pay the tab on this trial. And Young Thug is paying that shit. Come on, man. This shit is wild, man. These dudes, man, family, they're not gangsters. They might as well just hang it up. They're not that, man. They can't handle that pressure, man. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think, family, the people that's been locked up that really do this shit, look at somebody like 42 Doug. Remember when 42 Doug got out and violated all that shit? He was just like, fuck that. I'm going back to do the rest of that time. Because most people that has done all of this time like this, they don't want to be on the probation and go through all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say just go and give me the rest of my time and be done with it. You know what I mean? Thug didn't do that, man. Let's jump over here, right? Let's listen to just a little bit of what what the lawyer is saying here.
Stated many pieces of evidence and then took liberty that is the state's theory. Mr. Williams has tendered a nolo contendere plea to the RICO conspiracy count. And in that count, there are several overt acts. And the first one, Your Honor, deals with a traffic stop. It's on September 9th of 2013. And I won't go through every one because it might take a long time, but just for completeness for this, the court knows, Mr. Williams is driving a car. There is a dash cam video of the stop. The officer who testified at the trial 11 years later, the case was, a gun was found under the passenger seat. Mr. Williams is not tied to the gun. He's not convicted of that. And the dash cam video that the officer said would have picked up sound as well as definitely video was never turned over to us, supposedly lost. Could not explain the loss. The armed robbery in another overt act of Mr.
So family, you know what he's saying right here? He's saying that there was evidence that's lost. The shit was lost. right? Was never turned over, was lost, right? Okay.
Dodson, Dodson, has the following information. The state only, because we haven't called witnesses yet.
So they ain't even got the family. Thug ain't even got to his witnesses to his defense yet. They ain't even got to his side. This has been all the prosecution all this time. Okay? Listen to what he's saying.
So the state put up a man who said nothing except, I don't recall. And then they put in his prior recorded jail calls. That man was taken, his name is Mr. Bean, B-E-A-N. He was taken to Grady Hospital, and he was spoken with by a detective. The state vehemently accused me of lying to the jury, that the man never went, Mr. Bean was never taken to Grady Hospital, and that somehow I planted on him to say something on a recording where he said, the reason I implicated Jeffrey Williams is because the police told me that it would be easier for me. Then I had to go through the CAD reports and show that Mr. Bean was in fact taken to Grady Hospital, and Mr. Bean on recording told Detective Quinn, who of course told the truth. Yes, when I spoke to the detective previously, I did lie.
So listen, fam, all this shit that they got, you know what I'm saying, that would have been that. Come on, man. Even if they would have found, the higher courts would have had to throw that shit out, man. Come on, man. You can't have police officers and all of this shit. Like, come on, man. Thug fucked up, man. Let me jump to this plea bargain, right? I want to break down this plea bargain, right, that this woman is going through, right? Because I don't think people are really paying attention, right, to what's going on here, right? Real talk. Listen to what this woman finna say, man. Let's just get to this plea bargain, right?
I could also go on. But I want you to try to be more of the solution and less of the problem. All right? All right. So it is not lost on the court that the state, had they been able to come to agreement on certain special conditions, was willing to entirely dismiss the RICO count, was willing to entirely dismiss one of the gang counts, and was willing to entirely dismiss this, machine gun count. Was willing to give a sentence that permitted Mr. Williams to walk out of the door today, and therefore does not seem to be particularly worried that Mr. Williams, if on the streets, would be a danger to society.
Stop right there. So, family, okay, let's break this shit down real quick, right? She said that the prosecution didn't even. So a lot of this shit she added. She added this shit. She said that the prosecution was going to let him walk out of here today and was not concerned about him being. Let me bag it up for you, right? And I'm explaining to you why that's important to understand. Listen to what she said here.
And you thought would be getting an education and today, and therefore does not seem to be particularly worried that Mr. State, had they been able to come to agreement on certain special conditions, was willing to entirely dismiss the RICO count, was willing to entirely dismiss one of the gang counts, and was willing to entirely dismiss this, machine gun count. Was willing to give a sentence that permitted Mr. Williams to walk out of the door today, and therefore does not seem to be particularly worried that Mr. Williams, if on the streets, would be a danger to society. I'm taking that into consideration in crafting my sentence.
So, family, did y'all hear that? So the shit that she added to as she getting ready to get into his stipulations, The DA didn't even request that shit. She said that they were willing to drop certain counts and they wasn't even worried about him being a danger or basically being in Atlanta and shit, right? Now watch what she do, right? Now listen, now I want you guys to pay attention to this shit, right?
And in permitting a NOLO plea to the RICO count in one of the two gang counts, I would not be permitting the NOLO to the one if you were not pleading guilty to at least one of them. But you are, and y'all admit a factual basis for the counts that you are pleading guilty to. I find there to be a factual basis for those counts. And for the remaining counts with which you are charged, I am going to impose a sentence, and I've taken a little bit.
Now I want you guys to listen to this, right, family? Because I'm gonna break this down for you, right? Listen very closely.
Of the suggested special conditions from the defense and a little bit of the special conditions suggested by the prosecution. On count one, the court sentence is 20 years to serve 5 years, commuted to time served, the balance of 15 years to be probated, and a $25,000 fine.
So listen, so the first thing right here, right? The first charge, right? It was a 20-year sentence with the 5 years basically giving him time served because of the time that he did in jail, right? And a $25,000 fine is what she's going to say, right? Okay, is what she just said. Okay.
On count two, the sentence is 5 years to serve, commuted to time served. That's the minimum sentence that's permitted on that count. It is required to be run consecutively. I'm going to run it consecutive to count one.
Now stop right here, okay? She said this count right here, the minimum is 5 years. I'm going to run it consecutive, meaning that when they run concurrent, they run together. This charge right here is running consecutively, right? Okay. This has nothing to, so this is running in opposition to the first 20 years, she said, with the 5 years time served basically and 15 on probation. Now watch what she's getting ready to say about this charge right here. Okay.
But I am going to backload. Oh, I'm sorry. That is not commuted. That is 5 years to serve, and it's going to be run consecutively to count one, backloaded, by which I mean after you serve your 15 years of probation. If you have been successful on that probation, and I sincerely hope that you are, then at the end of that 15 years, I will commute the entire rest of any service portion of your sentence to.
So stop right there, family. What she's saying, and this is what I want you guys to grasp. This charge right here is running consecutive, meaning it's not running together with the first charge, right? And she's going to go through some of those going to be running concurrent with that first charge. What she's saying is this charge right here, we're going to sit this on the back end. If you complete these 15 years of probation, then I'm going to throw all of the rest of this shit out. But if you violate and you don't make it through the 15, the time for this charge is going to go on top of that 15 years, and you have to do because we can't run them together. It's consecutive, but I can put it on the back end. If you do fulfill the probation, then I can throw this shit out. Did y'all grasp that, right? Okay, y'all got to understand the lingo. So it's more than just some 15 years paper. 15 years if you fuck up. Let me bag that up.
Basis for the counts that you are pleading guilty to. I find there to be a factual basis for those counts. And for the remaining counts with which you are charged, I am going to impose a sentence, and I've taken a little bit of the suggested special conditions from on that count. It is required to be run consecutively.
It is required to be run consecutively, right? So, but this is what I'm going to do.
Run it consecutive to count one, but I am going to backload. Oh, I'm sorry, that is not commuted. That is 5 years to serve, and it's going to be run consecutively to count one, backloaded, by which I mean after you serve your
Backloaded, meaning after the 15 years is done, if you complete that successfully, we'll throw this out.
15 years of probation. If you have been successful on that probation, and I sincerely hope that you are, then at the end of that 15 years, I will commute the entire rest of any service portion.
So she's saying if you succeed through the 15 years, we'll basically throw this out right here. We'll commute it. It'll be time served, basically. Okay? Let's keep going.
Your sentence to time served. So I'll get to the end of it and give you the total sentence, but I'm also going to impose a $15,000 fine with regard to that count. Count 57, 20 years to serve 5, commuted to time served, the balance of 15 years probated, concurrent with count 1.
So she ran that concurrent with that. So that's tied in with the first 15 years, the 5 years of time served, 15 years paper.
Count 58, 10 years to serve 5, commuted to time served, balance probated, concurrent with count 1.
So she ran that together with the first one, meaning the 15 years of probation.
59, 5 years to serve, commuted to time served, concurrent with count 1.
Okay.
60, 5 years to serve, commuted to time served, concurrent with count 1. Count 61, 5 years to serve, that is required to be also a consecutive sentence, so that's going to be run consecutively to count 56 and backloaded.
So once again, family. So basically what's going on here, if he fuck up, it's going to be 25 years that he's going to have to do. The 15 years probation, the 5 years that she's backload, and the 5 years right here that she's backloading. Okay. If he violated his paper, if he violate this shit, right? Listen what she's saying, right? So he really got 25 years on his head because all that shit is on the back end after you successfully complete the 15 years probation. Okay.
Count 62, 10 years to serve, also required to be served consecutively. That's going to be consecutive to count 60.
Family, do you see this shit? That's 45 years now. No, hold on. 15, 10, 25, 35 years. It's 35 years right there, family. The 15, the 15 is the probation. You fuck the probation up. It's 5 on the first case running consecutively. Another 5 running consecutively. This one right here is 10 years running consecutively. That's 35 years that he's going to have to do if he fuck up. This shit is madness, thug. Why the fuck would you sign some shit like this? And I'm getting ready to tell you why this shit is crazy, why he should have never signed this shit. Everybody, welcome home, thug. Welcome home, thug. Y'all should be telling him how stupid he is to sign that shit. He should have waited the 90. That's why listen, do y'all remember? This is why Brian Steele said it is excruciating. All he had to do was wait 90 days, he'd have been out. But because he want to go home right now, come on, man. They not cut out for this shit, man. They not cut out for this shit. Listen.
One also backloaded. So essentially, the total sentence is 40 years to serve the first 5 years in prison, but commuted to the time that you have already served, followed by 15 years on probation, followed then by the backloaded 20 years.
Do you see that right there? So if he fuck up, he got 20 years on top of the fucking 15 years he got to do. If he fucked that up, he's got to go do that time. This is madness, man. Oh my goodness, Doug.
Which can be served in custody and will be served in custody if you are not successful on your probation.
Did you hear that? It can be and will be served in custody if you're not successful. Okay? It's a lot of shit that's on the line right here. Oh my goodness.
You are successful in completing your 15 years probation, that will be commuted to time served.
Do you see that? Look at this guy right here, family. Let me blow this shit up. You see this guy back here that look like George Washington over here with the white he looking like This stupid motherfucker, man. Look how he looking. Even the family, even the bailiffs and all these people over here, like, man, this nigga right here, man. All you had to do was wait another 90 days, thug. You was beating that shit, man.
You are to remain on reporting status for the first half of your probation, active reporting for the first 7.5 years of your probation, and that is pursuant to OCGA 17-10-1, subsection 2, A2A. And Mr. Steele and Mr. Adams, in order to keep him on reporting status, there needs to be good cause shown. We all concede that good cause is shown here?
Stipulate.
All right, I appreciate that. Special conditions of your probation.
What good cause? What do you mean?
Can I have a second, Your Honor?
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. You had enough time to talk with your attorneys?
Yes.
Okay. All right, special conditions of your probation. After 48 hours from your release, you are to stay away from the metro Atlanta area, and that's defined by the U.S. Census Bureau. It may change, but you can look that up anytime to figure out what that is. For the first 10 years of your probation, subject to the following exceptions, you are permitted to be in the metro Atlanta area to attend any wedding, funeral, or graduation from high school, college, or graduate school of any of your immediate family members. And immediate family members is defined the same way that you all were contemplating it when you were negotiating. You can get here up to 24 hours prior to any such event, and you need to leave within 48 hours after any such event. In addition, during each year of your probation, I'm going to require that you come to the metro Atlanta area and make a live anti-gang and anti-gun violence presentation 4 times a year, each year of your probation, at a grade school, a middle school.
Family, let's stop this shit right here, right? Okay. What the hell is this? Excuse me. You're telling me that the man is banned from Atlanta. He can't come to Atlanta, but he can come down here for school shit for his kids. He can come down here if something's going on with his family, sick or probably, getting ready to pass away. Now they want this nigga to come down there and do a fucking show 4 times a year while he's on fucking papers. For 15 years, you got to come down here and do these shows or talks or whatever the case may be. What the fuck is that? 4 times, listen, family, 4 times out of a year. The first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. You got to come down here and do these shows or speeches with these people 4 times a year. For 15 years, man. This shit is unheard of, man. Come on, thug, man.
But you can look that up anytime to figure out what that is. For the first 10 years of your probation, subject to the following exceptions, you are permitted to be in the metro Atlanta area to attend any wedding, funeral, or graduation from high school, college, or graduate school of any of your immediate family members. And immediate family members is defined the same way that you all were contemplating it when you were negotiating. You can get here up to 24 hours prior to any such event, and you need to leave within 48 hours after any such event. In addition, during each year of your probation, I'm going to require that you come to the metro Atlanta area and make a live anti-gang and anti-gun violence presentation 4 times a year.
Listen, fam, 4 times a year? That's fucking overkill. Family, that's fucking overkill. What the fuck is that? 15 years, you got to come down here 4 times a year. This shit is unheard of, man. Y'all see how they left that nigga in there to do all that tap dancing, the black judge, and then at the end, when it's census time, they send Karen in there to tighten his ass up. This is why she said when she started, the prosecution wasn't worried about him going home today. Because look at all of the shit that he's on. Come on, man. What in the hell? 4 times a year? Each year you on probation? I mean, like, fam, come on, man. It's only so much you can say. We living in a time where they can record this shit and replay it to the people. What the fuck is that? 4 times a year? So you telling me, come on, fam. After the first year, I'll be tired of that shit. You talking about 15 years, every year that you on probation. Come on, man. This motherfucker up here on this stand is on drugs, man. Come on, man.
Each year of your probation at a grade school, a middle
Ah,
school,
my
a
goodness.
boys or girls club, anything like that, that type of group. And if you want to, that presentation can include a benefit concert, and these presentations may count towards your required community service hours, which I'm going to impose, that during each year of your probation, you perform 100 hours of community service. You are, and this is required by the fact that there's a gang conviction. You shall not knowingly have contact of any kind or character with any other member or associate of any criminal street gang.
Now, family, this is where I want you guys to pay attention to, because now we're getting into the good shit, right? We're getting into the good shit, right? Listen to what she's getting ready to say right here, okay? Pay close attention right here.
To that, if your brother is a member of any street gang, I hope you talk him into getting out of it. Quantavious Greer, and then also Sergio Kitchens, as long as you are contractually obligated to him. That is going to include anybody who is named in this.
Now, family, let's stop right there. So what they're telling us, right? And I want you guys to pay close attention to this shit, right? And this is one of the biggest problems that I have with this entire RICO shit. The record companies get away scot-free. Remind you, she's sitting here scolding him like a little kid in school, right? About the gang shit and all this stuff before she got started, right? Oh, well, you know this and that. But remember, the record companies is the one that's releasing this shit and putting it out, right? So they can put all this shit out here and they bear no responsibility. They get away scot-free, but yet he and all the other people that have fallen like Young Thug under this shit, they the one that has to be scolded and go through all this belittling and all of this shit while they get away scot-free. And you know what she's telling him? You can be around Gunna and all of these people, which they say were gang members. They were part of this RICO and shit, as long as you have a contractual agreement and y'all have all this shit going on, then it's okay for y'all to do business together and be together and do all of this shit. But yet they're saying YSL is a gang and all of this other shit. So what the hell is he finna go out here and rep? He's still like, come on, man, fam. Make this shit make sense. Make this shit make sense.
Indictment, except as absolutely necessary to conduct the lawful business of your musical career, and to any extent that the state is not agreeing to the exception for Mr. Kitchens, in the event that that part is not enforceable because it is only a portion of a special condition, going to provide that that be severable from the rest of this, and I'll put some case cites in the Senate sheet for that. You are in no way to promote any criminal street gang.
Family, listen to this shit, right? So if they're telling us, right, on the original indictment that YSL is a street gang, this and all this other shit, what is he getting ready to do? Is he getting ready to change the record company name? Well, like, what the fuck he finna do? Because YSL is the record label. They said it was a gang. They're saying he can do business with Gunna and do all of this shit long as there's a contractual agreement through the rap industry. This shit don't even make sense. And this nigga played out to this shit. This shit is madness, family. It's madness.
Or any criminal street gang activity, including on any social media platform. You are not to utilize any hand signs. obligated to him. That is going to include anybody who is named in this indictment, except as absolutely necessary to conduct the lawful business of your musical career, and to any extent that the state is not agreeing to the exception for Mr. Kitchens. In the event that that part is not enforceable because it is only a portion of a special condition, going to provide that that be severable from the rest of this, and I'll put some case cites in the Senate sheet for that. You are in no way to promote any criminal street gang or any criminal street gang activity, including on any social media platform. You are not to utilize any hand signs, terminology, or language that promotes any criminal street gang. You are not to participate in any criminal street gang activity. You are not to knowingly engage in any contact with any of the victims that are listed in this indictment. Or
Family, let's stop right there. Did you guys just hear what that woman just said? It's over with for Thug. His career is over with, man. Don't y'all understand whenever we look at gangster rap, street rap, you know what I'm saying? Everything is based on the shit in the neighborhood, the shit that you going, that you, you know what I'm saying, that you coming up around or what have you, right? What the hell is he gonna rap about? What can Young Thug rap about? You can't throw up no signs. You can't promote no street shit. You can't talk about the hood you from. You can't talk about all this other shit. What the fuck is he finna rap about? He might as well just start making church music. The old Thug that we used to listening to and all this other shit, he cannot put that shit out. And this is the shit that he has to watch out for, because family, they could take any of that shit that he put out and say, oh, well, we think this was street shit. We think this was gang shit. It's they word verse his. If they want his ass off the street, he getting his ass off the street. His music career is over with. Why would he even take a chance with that shit? Why would he take a chance putting out a rap album? And these people can come back and say, you know what? This was a sign language right here. We think this is tied to this right here and tied to that. And T.I. and all these people said, well, it's time to get back to it. It's time to get back to it. With Young Thug, listen, in my opinion, what Young Thug need to do is make his rounds through the industry, get that money and all of that shit from him, because I know he spent the bag fighting this case, right? We know that. You know what I'm saying? Make your rounds and go. He might as well go on to TV, film, or some other shit. Get out of the rap shit is over with. If this nigga's getting out and still trying to rap, he's going to jail. Because number one, nobody is going to want to listen to this hickory dickory dock shit that's going to be coming out. Because we know that when we talking street music, high class street music, you got to talk that shit. And he can't talk it. He can't talk it. He can't talk it. He can't talk it. The judge just told him that he can't talk it. Do I got to bag this shit up for y'all? Let me bag this shit up for y'all. I think y'all didn't hear what the woman said, right? See, these are the clauses, right? See, Young Thug, oh, what this mean and what that mean? You should have asked her what this mean, because this right here.
Any criminal street gang activity,
listen,
including on any social media platform. You are not to utilize any hand signs, terminology, or language that promotes any criminal street gang. You are not to participate in any criminal street gang activity. You are not to knowingly engage in any contact with any of the victims that are listed.
Family, that means, family, let's talk about this. No more videos with the guns. No, none of this other shit. You know what I'm saying? It's over with for Thug. His career is over with. The best thing to do for Thug is take whatever money he got left, go write a book. Write a book. It's time to find other ways to make money than rap, because this rap shit is over with. And if he take the chance, these people can say, oh, well, we feel like this is gang related or this is tied to that, and they can violate his ass if he do not do what they want him to do. Come on, man. This shit is unheard of, family. They let this man out of jail. Now, you notice Lucci, all them went to jail, right? They went down and did some time, okay? After sitting in jail for a long time. This shit that they got Young Thug set up is madness. And they know it takes is one false move and it's over with. And you got people like T.I. FaceTime and oh, let's get back to this and that. Like, come on, man. Thug better watch his ass, man. I mean, because all it's gonna take all it's gonna take is just the wrong fucking move, and he's gonna do 40 years. Okay. We also gotta remember, by the time that this 15-year sentence is over with, he's gonna be way older. He's not gonna be relevant as a musician, as a rap artist, because they getting ready. They just duct tape and hog tied him, and he can't. What is he going to talk about, family? What is he going to talk about? What is he going to talk about? Okay, you might make a few club songs, shake your ass song, woo, woo, but that's it. Niggas want to hear that shit. Niggas in the street want to hear that shit, and you can't talk about it. You can't talk in code language or none of that shit. Anything like, listen, anything that's not clear English, when you start talking lingo, it's over with, man. Oh, we think this is that. This is a violation of your probation. Now you're going to be back in court spending more money trying to fight this shit. This shit is madness, man. You know, but I do wish Thug the best, man. I do hope that he just walk away from that shit and be done with it, man. We heard his testimony. We heard what he said. I'm a good guy. I'm this and that. I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? You can't really go out here and beef with nobody no more. You can't, like, all this shit is over with. The rap shit, this shit is over with, man. And Thug, he better hang this shit up, man. And then here's the other thing, family. Okay, so you can still do business with Gunner and all of this other shit. So now listen, now check this shit out, right? This is what y'all gotta understand. She's saying he can be around security guards and shit that's hired security and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that you gotta understand is when you going and you doing these studio sessions, those niggas, Gunna and all them, ain't bound by the same shit. They gonna be in there smoking weed, drinking lean, doing all of this shit. You not gonna be able to do that. And all it take is for them, and you know they recording in the studio. All it take for them to record that shit and somebody get mad and pass that shit on to the court and this and that and Thug ass out of here. This is a bad move, Thug. I would have never done that. I would have just set the 90 days, man. The lawyer telling you right, because think about this. If they ain't brought you a plea all throughout the whole 3 years, and then all of a sudden they coming to you with a plea, fuck that. Y'all ain't want to give me the bond. Y'all ain't want to give me this shit. Fuck it. And you know Brian's still telling them that they done violated. This is why he said it. He said the shit was excruciating watching that shit. The shit that the judge put on them. Because listen what the judge said. Even the DA didn't even ask to put that shit on him. She did that shit. She said, I'm going to take what they said and what the defense said, and I'm going to create my own shit. That's where they backdoored his ass at. You know what I'm saying? Because they figured, oh, okay, well, the DA not asking for all of that shit, and they put the boy in a trick bag, man. It's just, the shit is crazy, man. This shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the nigga wanted to go home. So my thing to Thug is just go home, be a family man, be done with this shit. You know, go do some movies, go write books, go do some other shit. Rap is over with. It's over with, man. You're not going to have no more street credibility. You know what I'm saying? You sat there and you told a woman, I'm a good guy. I'm not this. I'm not that. Sauce Walker and them ain't going to do that. They not going to do that shit. You see what I'm saying? It's over with, man. Get into comedy. Go write some books, right? You might as well just, since you got to do all this community service and all this speaking and shit, you might as well become a motivational speaker and just go around the world being a motivational speaker and getting paid for this shit, because rap is over with. You can't talk about nothing. You can't talk about getting back. You can't talk about you can't talk about none of that shit. She stopped you. And the record companies get away scot-free every single time. You know, so what you gonna do? You gonna make a whole album about shaking ass? You know what I'm saying? At some point, people gonna want to hear that slime. They gonna want to hear that slime, like that slime talk. And he can't talk it. He gotta speak correct English. Any type of broken English, and his ass out of here. 40 years he gotta go do. So it's more than just 15 years on paper. It's a 20 ball that's sitting on the back end. If he fucked that 15 up, it's over with. We got you. So essentially, they already done put his ass in the blender. We getting your ass. And he should have knew when they came with the plea that he was finna beat the shit. They won't give you a bond. If they'd have brought Thug a plea a long time ago, he'd have been going with Gunna, man. It's showing you. You know what I'm saying? He looked worse than Gunna. You know what I'm saying? Doing this shit. Gunna didn't do all that. Gunna didn't do all that shit, man. Oh my goodness. Come on, Thug, man. Arthur King says Thug is not on his way back to jail. Well, he better turn into a bishop. He better become a preacher. Cause that shit that she just put on his ass. Come on, man. Ash says, I doubt Young Thug can pass 15 years probation without getting sent back. My thing is this right here. I'm not looking to see Thug go back. But the fact that he took that shit right there, family, come on, man. Ain't no fucking way. You heard what Brian Steele said. It was excruciating. It was excruciating. Let me get this shit back. I don't think y'all understand this shit. Listen to what Mr. Steele had to say. Let's get him back in the queue. Listen what he said.
Have been found not guilty of everything. So this is very painful. But that's another 3 months or
Listen what
and just how today ended up going and transpiring.
Well, this was excruciating because hopefully, in our collective opinion, Jeffrey would have been found not guilty of everything. So this is very painful. But that's another 3 months or so in custody. And he wants to go home to his family.
And he wants to go home. He just want to go home.
And negotiations totally broke down with the district attorney's office. Horribly broke down. And at that point, we believe that justice would be found with the honorable court. And Jeffrey just wanted to go home.
And Jeffrey just wanted to go home. He just wanted to go home. He just wanted to go home. It's excruciating. Do you hear what the fuck Brian is saying? And he just wanted to go home, man. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is I wish the best for Thug. I don't want to see the nigga in there doing no 45 years. I ain't want to see him in there doing the time he was in there doing in the jail. I think it's some bullshit. But to cop out to that right there, oh my goodness, man. These people could take anything that he say and say, oh, this is slang. Y'all know how we talk. Y'all know we talk lingo. They saying, no, you're not talking that shit. You talk proper English. And if it's anything that's not said, that it's a violation of his probation, man. Okay. Guy Yaya says, that boy ain't going back. You just hate. I ain't hating. I'm telling you how this shit is. Is it still echoing? What about now? All right, sound like it might be done. Let me know if you still got an echo to it. Good Kid says, I wouldn't have took that plea. I'm telling you. B says, Young Thug, dumb as hell for taking that plea and the state was losing. Come on, fam. Why? Listen, fam, why would they bring him a plea? Listen, they didn't give him a bond. They ain't been brought the nigga a plea. The first plea they brought this nigga, he took that shit and they fucked him over. Listen, the DA didn't even ask for all of that shit. She said, I'm going to take what the DA said, what your lawyer said, and I'm going to craft my own shit. She put that shit together. Come on, man. Man, I'm like, good kid, bro. Should have just waited. And my thing is this right here. I ain't hating on Thug. I don't want to see the nigga go back to jail. But this shit right here that listen. Man, listen. Listen here. Listen, good kid said this low key worse than being locked up. Exactly. This nigga got to go down there 4 times a year to do these fucking concerts and shit for 15 years. Okay. You can't go down there unless you got, you know what I'm saying, unless somebody died or something like that. You banned from Atlanta, basically. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk about shit in none of your rap songs. You can't talk the slime shit. You can't talk none of that shit in there. So your rap career is over with. What the fuck you gonna talk about? Remedy says, what kind of music is Thug gonna make? He can't rap about gangster stuff no more. Exactly. We listen, man. We know about the rap industry. We know this shit is all demonic, and we know this shit, right? We ain't gotta go over that, right? But the thing about it is this right here. When people listen to Young Thug or think about Young Thug, the shit that he can't talk about the shit no more. The fuck is he gonna talk about? You can't talk no lingo, none of that. You can't talk in no code language. No, you can't throw up no signs. You can't none of that shit. It's over with, man. It's over. Bone said he around here wearing dresses and asking boys if they like boys. Feds need to step up immediately. Oh my goodness. Right here. He can't even continue his label because he can't even sign any of the rappers that's affiliated. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And then you can't sign no street niggas because they from the streets. They gang. They affiliated with this and that. So you can't go out here and say, okay, well, I'm gonna sign these people because 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be affiliated with some type of street gang. All he had to do was wait 90 days. And you heard what Brian Steele said? It's excruciating. That shit that she put down was excruciating. All he had to do was wait 90 days and he would have been out of here. You see Kentucky Fried Chicken, the colonel that was sitting in there. When that woman started reading that shit down, he just went just like this. Like, this nigga stupid as hell. You don't listen, family. You don't sit in jail for 3.5 years or however long he was in there. They didn't give him no bond, didn't bring him no plea, and then now they're coming to talk. Hey, we got a plea. Well, hey, fuck that. Already been sitting over 3, almost 4 years. If the lawyer is showing you that they done fucked up and did all of this shit, you're supposed to ride that shit out. It's over with, man. Oh my goodness, man. They just did a live, listen, they just did a live execution, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he had left down there, they cut that shit off, man. Cut it off. You're gonna be down here in Atlanta. You're gonna be doing free concerts, all this other shit 4 times a year for 15 years. Oh my goodness. Hell no. Bone said he got this. He just went anyway. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Listen to this right here. Look, listen to this right here. His haters can record Thug around something that can be a violate him. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. This was stupid as hell. You already been gone. All you had to do was sit another 90 days. You know what I'm saying? Thug might as well start writing books. You might as well get into comedy, do what T.I. and them doing. You better, but even with that, you still gotta watch your ass because she already said you can't be around drugs, you can't be around all this shit. So if they catch your ass in the studio doing records with somebody and they got that shit around, excuse me, they gonna hold the boy for ransom. Hey Thug, this is what we need from you, or we're gonna turn this tape in to you. We're gonna turn your ass in. This is a violation of your probation. He can't do nothing about it. Oh my goodness. Now, right here, now this is what I want you guys to understand, because Balls is on to some shit. This shit is trading places. Thugs get out on the RICO. Dirk is going in for possible RICO. Maybe it's just be exactly. They let Thug out. Listen, Lucci and all these other people went and sat down. after sitting in jail for all this time. Now, see, fam, what y'all gotta understand with these rappers, every single year, they have somebody that they're gonna have locked up on these RICO cases and keep people entertained. You see what I'm saying? They done used Thug for over 3 some years, right? With the YSL, all that theater and shit. And then once they got tired of all that theater, they removed that black judge and they put Karen in there, and Karen went on and off with his head. You know what I'm saying? While she was trying to talk all this and that, Thug didn't even understand what she was saying. He had to ask the lawyer, what's she saying? You know what I'm saying? I'd have been like, hell no, I ain't playing to that shit. We gotta just keep going with this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's too much shit on the back end. What if he wake up one day and just say, fuck it, I'll just go do the 2 or 3 years or whatever? You got to do that on top of the 20 years that's just sitting on the back. You have to complete that 15 to get that 20 to get that dub throughout. If he don't complete it, he going to do that shit. Come on, man. Now that they got the Young Dirt, the OTF case, you know what I'm saying, going on, this is what's finna keep people entertained. And then after that, they're coming with the CMG, the Rockefeller RICO. You know what I'm saying? They already got Yo Gotti, but what they're doing is they want them to believe that they don't have them, so they can keep doing all this criminal activity shit. And then when they get done with this shit, they coming to get their ass, and they're gonna keep the people entertained. You know what I'm saying? The shit, man, come on, man. And we just gonna block on the shit. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, Thug did the same shit. Snitched by saying YSL was a gang. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Right here, Thug folded. He did, man. The man folded, man. He folded, man. All he needed, the man said 90 days, man. Listen to what Brian Steele said. See, they not blogging on this shit. Thug home. Yeah, he home. But for how long?
All right, if y'all don't mind talking us through the decision to make a plea and just how today ended up going and transpiring.
Well, this was excruciating because hopefully, in our collective opinion, Jeffrey would have been found not guilty of everything. So this is very painful. But that's another 3 months or so in custody. And he wants to go home to his family. And negotiations totally broke down with the district attorney's office. Horribly broke down. And at that point, we believe that justice would be found with the honorable court. And Jeffrey just wanted to go home. How agonizing it is to know that we've spent a year trying a case where the prosecutors have put on lies, knowing lies, hiding evidence, is insane.
Come on, fam. Y'all hear that boy, man? All Thug had to do was sit another 90 days. They was beating that shit, man. And if they would have been bullshit, the higher courts would have threw that shit out, man. Come on, man. 90 days, the nigga would have had to sit. He couldn't hang. These niggas ain't built for this shit, man. Fold that shit up, man. You know what I'm saying? Go open a church up, man. You know what I'm saying? Start preaching the gospel, man. Because this just ain't it, man. It's over with, man. It's over with. Even his dad said the same thing. The nigga just wanted to go home. Anytime the prosecutor come to you with a plea midway through that shit, now I could have understood, right? If they'd have said, okay, we just gonna give you 15 years probation without all that other extra shit. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But to have all that shit added and not like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to know like shit. Hell no. The only way I'm taking this is if this is what it is. I'm not doing no fucking open plea shit where the judge can do all this and that because this is how they backdoored them. Go listen to what the judge, when she first started on that sentence, she said the court she said the DA was just gonna let you go today with you basically not being a danger, none of this shit to the people in Atlanta. That even the DA didn't even ask for that shit. She said, no, 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 no. This is what I'm going to do. Okay. This shit is crazy, man. Right here. He was short-sighted, in my opinion. He already did over 2 years in jail. So 3 months to be completely free, no probation or nothing. How done? He's stupid. You hear what the lawyer's saying? It was excruciating. Now he got all this shit Listen, did you see all that shit she put in there? Sign languages. You can't be around this and that. Can't be around drugs, this and that. You can't even talk in coded language. You got to come down here every year, your probation, and do all of this shit. Like, it's over with, man. It is over with for Thug, man. Yeah, it's over with for him after the day. There's nothing like, okay, you drop an album, you can't even talk about the case. You can't talk about how the people backdoored you and did all this shit. You can't talk about no slide, none of that shit. Your ass is out of here if you do any of that. So it's over with, man. It's over with for what you call it. He might as well get into movies, get up with Diddy or somebody, get up with Tyler Perry. You know what I'm saying? See if he can get a role or something. It's over with, man. Come on, man. Right here, he went against his own lawyers. You could tell how that boy talking, man. How Brian, he like, man, this nigga just wanted to go home, man. He said we had him, man. This don't like fam. This ain't like people. Listen, family. People running around talking about like he's the next Johnny Cochran. He's the next Johnny Cochran. Now we know that Brian Steele is good, but it would have looked better for him if he would have beat the fucking case. If he would have beat the case, you see what I'm saying? When OJ walked out that motherfucker, Johnny Cochran beat that shit. His stock went up. He was finna beat that shit. You see when Snoop beat that shit? Thug, you didn't beat that shit. You folded, my boy, just to come home. You know what I'm saying? All this shit with Gunna and all these other people, it don't even matter now. It's no different. And think about this shit right here, family. Why this shit is not over with. It's still people that's on this case that's still going to court and shit. So who the fuck is the ringleader and who is like this shit is wild. They try to say he was the ringleader, he was the head guy. So if he the ringleader and the head guy, he got to go home. Everybody else should have went home. This shit is crazy, man. This shit is crazy, man. This what I'm saying right here. I don't know what's gonna happen to the last two that's on trial. They might as well let their ass go. They let the ringleader go, the alleged ringleader, the one who they said was the boss and running everything. If he's out, the number two is out. Gunna, you know what I'm saying? They might as well let their ass go. But listen right here, what you saying, Eddie. You disagree respectfully. Okay. He said 3 months or so. Another thing, Thug lived how corrupt these people are. Bro, they wanted 20 years on a plea deal. He got more than that on the plea deal now. He's got 20 on the back end that's not running with the 15 that he's doing on probation. He fucked the 15 years probation up. He's going to do 35. So he got more than that. So that don't make sense what you're saying. You know, and then she told him, right, like you said, no drugs, none of that shit, unless it's prescribed to you. Okay, so I'm pretty sure he gonna get some prescriptions, but I like, come on, man, like this shit is crazy as hell. Ah, I'm with Mo Fresh on this shit. Plea not guilty, but then took a deal in the case you winning. The math ain't mathing, brother. Come on, man. And then look how they just destroyed him, right? And like Florida native said, Thug could have won. I agree with you on that shit. He just had to sit a few more months, like the lawyer said. It's excruciating. We had they ass. And right here, he can't rap about his time in jail. All that shit over with. You can't even talk about that shit. Yeah. But right here, Eddie, let me help you out. Thug know they can retry him if he wins money, bro. Lawyers are expensive. He did right. Get out and move to Cali. Weed legal. Okay, you right. Weed is legal, but they just told him he can't be around that type of shit. You see what I'm saying? And then if you get caught sending these boxes to north, south, east, west, your ass really going to sit down. So while you better off rapping, making the money off of rapping, than going back to doing that shit. You know they're gonna be watching you. Come on, man. The other co-defendant, Shannon, ain't pleading. How that work? Man. Right here. Here we go. Facts. Any appeal court would throw out the case due to misconduct of the prosecutors, man. Come on, man. You got to know the law. I'm an ex-criminal. I done been through that shit. I know how that shit work. You know what I'm saying? These people are just watching this shit and nah, man, he fucked up, man. He fucked up, man. And like I said, I wish the best with the. I don't want to see the man in jail. I hope he do complete the 15. But I would have never took that shit, man. Ever. Okay, the real Jews is, he said, I just got one question. Did he take the plea deal knowing that the 90 days was on the table? I'm pretty sure that the lawyer told him what was going on, because when they brought the plea bargain to him, he had to basically break down to what the plea bargain was all about. You know what I'm saying? What was going on, and basically, he got to explain to him. He can't just, okay, we got a plea bargain, and then he just take the plea. The lawyer has to break this shit down to him, explain to him, like, this is the plea, this is what can happen, this is what's going to happen, da da da. Hey, this is what the prosecution is asking, this is what we asking. But what the judge did, she went outside of what they were asking. Okay. Let me bag that up for you guys, just in case y'all didn't see that. Okay. Let's get back over here. Listen to what this woman said, right?
Be more of the solution and less of the problem. All right. All right. So it is not lost on the court that the state, had they been able to come to agreement on certain special conditions, was willing to entirely dismiss the RICO count, was willing to entirely dismiss one of the gang counts, and was willing to entirely dismiss this, machine gun count. Was willing to give a sentence that permitted Mr. Williams to walk out of the door today, and therefore does not seem to be particularly worried that Mr. Williams, if on the streets, would be a danger to society. I'm taking that into consideration in crafting my sentence.
Did you hear that? I'm taking that and I'm going to craft my own sentence. So they were going to drop that shit. They were going to let him go with none of that shit. She sat up there and crafted and put that shit together and fucked that boy over, man. Come on, man. Okay, Eddie says everything not about, and I agree with you. Everything is not about drill rap. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm saying here. It's not what I'm saying. But the fact of the matter is how did Young Thug come in? He didn't come in singing gospel rap and all of this other shit. He came in talking about gangster rap, street rap, and all of this other shit. YSL the gang, all this other shit, right? That's what he came in talking about. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he's not able to represent none of that shit and do none of that shit, you know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. It's a good thing for him. He has to fly straight now. But I'm just saying, though, they on the FaceTime with T.I. It's time to get back to it. It's time to get back to what? You can't come on, man. What is she going to rap about? She stopped all that shit in court and said, no, I'm adding all this shit to your plea bargain. You can't do this. You can't do that. He can't do none of that shit. It's over with. And even if they are having secret means and hold evidence and all of this other shit, what you got to understand that there are higher courts. There are higher courts. You know what I'm saying? You can't send that shit up to a higher court and then the higher court say, no, we just gonna keep with this shit because y'all gotta remember, how do y'all think people come home from jail? How do y'all think Boosie just beat the gun case out there when they what did she cite? She cited another case. Well, this happened in this case right here, and it was throughout for this, and the court had to honor that. So they can't have this shit going on and all this fluffery ass shit, and then find this man guilty, and the shit just stick and go up to the higher courts, and it's all type of shit being violated. It don't work like that. It don't, man. I agree with you with that SLR media. Young Thug, he was stupid for that, man. And y'all got to remember all that money that was paid out, Young Thug lost all around the board because somebody got to pay the tab for this trial. If Thug would have won that shit, the state would have had to pay for that trial. That's why they got his ass to plead guilty. He got to get all of them got to signing these guilty pleas, taking all this less time, and they have to pay for this shit. The lawyers got to be paid for. Y'all see all those court fines and shit that he got to pay. Come on, man. Jose says he did it for his kids. So my thing is, if he did it for the kids, he might as well just change his whole life and never go back to this shit ever again. It's because it's over with, man. You know what I'm saying? When 15 years get here, he's not even gonna be relevant no more. It's not even gonna be, you know what I'm saying? So, and I agree with Florida Navy. At least he free. Okay. Okay. Now Jose talking about all that other shit is irrelevant. Okay. So wait when they need to wait till something happen. And if his ass go back, I'm not wishing this shit on him. You know what I'm saying? But if something happened to him, make sure you be the first one back here to say all that shit was irrelevant and wooty wooty woo, because I don't think it's irrelevant. If it wasn't relevant, she would have never stated and said all that shit. She said all that shit for a reason. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you right here. Dope Action said doing it for the kids is not a good excuse. And you know why I agree with this? Because see, when you in the streets and you decide to start breaking the law, you're not thinking about the kids. You know what I'm saying? You out here thinking about, okay, I'm gonna go out and commit these crimes to get this money and do it. You're not thinking about your kids. If you was thinking about your kids, you wouldn't be doing this shit in the first place. This is what I be saying about these guys. They do all this gangster shit. They do all this stuff, and then when they get caught, they're like, "Damn, I got a family. What about my girl? What about my kids?" And then everybody got to change their heart. So if you have this before you start doing this shit, then you ain't got to worry about it. He wouldn't have been there in the first place. Okay. So I hope he is straight, Jose. I do. I really do. Yep. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Oh my goodness. Jose says, so what? He need to be there for his kids. What's another 3 months was gonna matter? Another 3 months wasn't gonna matter. You already been sitting in jail for over 3 some years. Yep, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. But anyway, man, Ah, oh my goodness. But anyway, man, listen, man. Uh, y'all share this thing, man. Y'all get this thing to Gunner, man. Y'all get this shit to Thug. Let them put ears on this shit. Cause I'm speaking real shit, right? I do wish the best for Thug. I do hope he make it through the 15 years and not have to go back to jail. I don't wish jail on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Well, except Gotti, you know, they need to go sit their ass down because they ain't did nothing. They ain't put in no work. They ain't did shit. You know what I'm saying? But at any rate, y'all leave y'all thoughts below about this. Do y'all think this shit was a good deal that Thug took? You know what I'm saying? Look at all of this shit, all of the stipulations that she added to the shit. You know what I'm saying? She added shit that the prosecutors didn't even ask for in the plea bargain. You know what I'm saying? Brian still said in another few months they was gonna beat this shit. He just had to wait a few more months. You know what I'm saying? For probably most likely for the prosecution to wrap up their side, because you got to remember they never even got to their witnesses or did none of this shit that they you know, presented none of their evidence from the defense side. You know what I'm saying? So what do y'all think about this? Do y'all think this was a good deal for Thug? Do y'all think Thug gonna last this 15 years? You know, he got to come down there 4 times a year, every year of his probation to do these shows and do all of this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, ban the man from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? He can't talk about this, can't talk about that, can't talk in code language, can't use street terms, can't do like, come on, man. They castrated that boy, in my opinion. But at any rate, y'all leave y'all thoughts below. Stay safe out there. I'm signing off here on Israelite Talk TV. Shalom.